This is the real Tom Rose, and oh, SAT, you are trying to mess us up good this time. We're not going to let you, though. I see through this complicated nonsense, and I raise you simplification. I'm going to copy this down so I can do some notes on it. Now, one of the things that happens when people commonly confront inequalities, they get scared because they don't know what to do with it. But here's a tip. If you see an inequality, you're not sure what to do with it, treat it like an equation. And you have lots of tools built up for dealing with equations. For example, subtracting things from both sides, totally legal. So let's subtract 5/7 from both sides. And you'll notice, boom, that cancels out two of our terms right off the bat. We can also subtract 5/9 from both sides. And boom, there's another 2 gone. And we end up with is something a lot more manageable. 5/8 is less than 5 over x. Now, it's very tempting at this point to do another equation type thing, which is to multiply both sides by the variable x so we can get rid of these fractions. But be careful. This is a place where many people run into a trap. When you're dealing with inequalities, do not multiply by variables. Beware, your score will decrease. And why don't you do that? Well, here's why. Whenever you have an inequality, so let's take one that we know, 2 is less than 3. Is that true? Yay, yes. Okay. Well, let's multiply both sides by -1. Right? Totally legal with an equation. We end up with is -2 and -3. And which way does the inequality point now? Points the other direction. The lesson here, when you multiply by a negative number, you have to flip the sign. It's not a big deal. You just have to remember to do it. It's like wiping the toilet seat. Nobody likes it, but we got to do it sometimes. All right. Now, here's the trouble with variables. We don't know whether they're negative or positive, so you can't multiply by a variable ever, because you might be needing to flip the sign or you might not, and there's no way to know the difference. But in this problem, we do have a little piece of info on our side, all positive. They're all positive, and we are looking for values of x. So these are potential values of x, and they're all positive. So since we know that it's positive, we are going to do the thing I just told you not to do. And we're going to multiply both sides by x. In fact, we're going to cross multiply. And we're going to get 5x is less than 8 times 5. And the reason why I didn't combine the 8 and the 5 is because I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So we can cancel all of that out. And we're left with x is less than 8. So that's our only constraint at this point, and then we're asking what x could be which of the following. Well, can it be 8? No. Can it be 9? No. 10? No. 11? No. All right, we know it's got to be 7. It's the only value we're given which is less than x. So that is your answer, A. Boy, that was tricky.